Now, how do everyone? Welcome back to Potty Mouth. Yes, we are here with three lovely ladies. Kerry, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Right. Now, we're just starting a little bit earlier because Kerry's got to go to the dentist. And are we getting teeth pulled, Kerry? And just
No,
something.
I wouldn't be able to do this if I was having to prepare myself to get teeth pulled out. No, it's just a general checkup, but you know what it's like with dentists. If you get an appointment, you got to keep it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it's horrific round. You know what I mean? My son's kind of flitting between London here and Bristol and that, and trying to get like a regular dentist appointment for him is just
My
horrific.
dentist works 1 day a week. So once you've got that appointment, there's no giving it up.
Oh, I know. Well, yes, so we are here for 1 hour and 1 hour exactly there. Marcy, it's lovely to have you back on. Are you good? Are you well?
Doing well.
Is that blue sky at the back there, or is it a little bit hazy?
Finally, yeah. No, it's actually blue sky. It's just hard to see through the window, but
Right,
yeah,
oh,
we
that's nice.
finally
That's
we've had two bouts of 7 inches each of rain. We had a drought, and now we're good for a while.
That just brings the weeds on, as I'm finding out as well.
Wow.
Just like makes the
does.
weeds grow. And the boss, the queen, she's here again. There, looking very fetching in that cerise colour,
Oh,
madam.
Oh,
Are you well, Audrey? Are you
I'm
good?
great, thank you. Yes.
Now, Audrey, last week you had a multitude of things to get out in the garden.
Yes.
So I would like to hear how we did.
Oh, we did so bad.
All right. How about you?
We did so bad.
Right.
We have moved every plant that was in the house to outside the house because so many things just weren't hardened off yet. So today, right now, we are planting tomatoes and peppers today and earthing up our potatoes.
But I thought last week
Yeah, I
you
know.
were going to,
Yeah.
just didn't.
Well,
didn't work.
rain, these stupid legs that won't heal. I mean, it's like, could something else like happen right now? So this week looks a whole lot more promising. So
Have you had as much rain as Marcy? Because you're
not like that. We
Right.
have had the classic spring, like it comes out of nowhere, boom, and then it's gone. And it was very cool last week. It would have been the perfect week. This week's going to be hotter than
hell.
Hades, yes. But we'll still get it, and I'm gonna put up shade cloth because I'm like, these new plants are not going to sit under almost 90-degree weather. Going, yeah, no problem. We've got all of our leaf, no. So
we've got that in like polytunnels, but it's nice. Yeah, I don't know what Kerry. What's it like down your ways? It's nice, kind of.
Yeah, it's humid. Not direct sun at the moment. It's kind of coming in and out. It's been a bit cloudy, but we have at last had rain. I mean, I was beginning to think we were just going to go straight into summer and drought, but we have had rain. But in Leicester, it's been more showers. It's been nothing significant that I felt like I could stop watering. So like the job of watering has continued, even though we've had a bit of rain.
We've been lucky in the sense that our rain, and we've had some good downpours, but they've all been through the night. And then we've had that like lovely candy floss, white clouds, blue sky. Do you know what I mean? And the furniture outside dries up, so it's been lovely that way. But we have, Kerry, honestly, it's like micro weeds. You know what I mean? It's like here, it's like this fuzz has been coming up. So I've been in there, and I forgot I had a show and tell. I had a Japanese hand. I've got myself like a Japanese hand weeder.
Oh,
to kind of can you hear it? Right, I've got two Dobermans here just like fighting with this bloody butt. Out! Go on, you mad. Go on, get out. Sorry about it. Go on. Once one's in, the other one wants to come in. I'm keeping the door open because I've got parcels getting delivered. So
it'll be okay, Tony.
There we go.
It'll be all right.
Well, I tell you one thing about the weather has been the wind. The wind has really come up. Last weekend and yesterday it was really windy here as well. And I've been trying to put up netting, in particular a brassica cage. and trying to do it while you've got this wind going has been, really difficult.
How do you
Everything has taken so much longer than I thought it would.
Kerry, how do you put your, because I do like plastic tubes with what we call, I forget what it's called, builder's netting, like scaffolding netting. What do you use for, or what do you do?
Yeah, I've done the tubes before, and I got underfloor heating tubes, so the white ones rather than
Oh,
the
yes.
blue. And they worked okay, but I didn't do them tall enough. So for the really big brassicas, for the Brussels sprouts and things, they just weren't tall enough. Then last year I did a structure with bamboo canes where I had little coloured balls and I made holes in them so that you've got 3 holes and
Oh,
then
yes.
you make the structure and then put the netting over that. That worked okay, but then I was always having to crawl in and out of these things. And then this year I've been gifted one of these sort of tent pop-up brassica cages. And it looks great, like when you see it on the website and everything. And I think it will be good, but it was difficult to put up in the wind for a start. And it's just not sturdy enough. Like on its own, it's not enough. You have to construct something around it to pin it to make it fit for purpose, I believe. So I don't think they're selling something that on its own is doable.
And can butterflies get through? Is it just, oh, right.
No, not butterflies. I was thinking because I realized this week as I should have netted my alliums as well. I have never had allium leaf miner.
Oh, right.
On Saturday, I thought I would have a little look at a couple of my onions. And if I'd put that tent over it, it wouldn't have been enough. They would have got through. But the butterflies, they won't get through to the brassicas. So that's okay.
See, I tell you what I've used, Kerry, and I've just started this year. You know, you can get like the metal poles that have got the green plastic on. So I've been like jamming them in and then using like the blue pipe. So it's given us that, and this is just this year. I think JB did it, and I went, "That's a good idea," because mine has just been normally blue pipe, but it's just a little bit lower than, you know, the leaves just touch a little bit, and it's like if the leaves are touching your netting, then your butterflies will just come on and, you know, lay. So I'm finding that.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this tent thing is I think it's 1.5 meter high.
All right.
So it's plenty high enough and you won't get that touching of the leaves, except if it's like wobbling over in the wind and then it's going to touch them. And it might even break them because part of it, when it was really windy last weekend, part of it did collapse and then I had to pop it back.
Is it a gardening product, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And some people have commented and said that they've got the same one and it's all right. But it just doesn't feel very secure to me, very sturdy. Right. But I'll give it a season, see how it goes. You know, it was very kindly gifted to me, so I'm going to make use of it.
Plus, it'd be a nice video if it fails. Do you know what I mean? You get more. You know what I mean? Look at the state of my garden.
Well, I already managed like a 40-minute video of me trying to put it up.
So, anything, Audrey? What did you say you put out? Tomatoes you've put out and going out, should I say?
Tomatoes and all my peppers. We're kind of building up the potatoes a little bit. What is that? Hilling them in a little.
Earthing up, yeah.
And I've got a ton of flowers. So I think those will go out like maybe this afternoon, I'm hoping.
I was going to say, because we're early. I mean, you know, I don't know what time it is over there, but it's early for you. So you've got a full day to crack on. And
exactly. So that's what I'm trying to really jam in as much as I can today.
How many peppers have you got?
He does not like to help with the garden. He does not.
What?
He loves to brag about it. He loves to show everybody. But
he doesn't get his hands dirty.
He does not.
Audrey, there was quite a few people got in touch with us saying about they've tried that, you know, like the toothbrush, the teeth whitening product. What did you call it? You know, like for cleaning hands, fingernails.
Denture tablet.
Denture, yes.
And it worked?
Well, there's a lot of people said it does. So
good. It's always worked for me.
take that as
Yeah.
you don't get it with clover compost. You don't get dirty fingernails with clover compost.
I think you can get it with anything, can't you?
Mm,
Tony, no?
no, not at all. Not
You
at all.
are so funny.
Kerry, have we got anything? Is there anything struggling over there? And
Things are suffering because they need to get out. I'm struggling. I'm struggling for time. And I had a big day on Saturday where I was trying to plant out as much as possible. But like you were saying, every time I went to plant something out, the bed was full of weeds.
Mhm.
So you had to do the weeding first, then get something out, water it all in because there's not been a lot of rain, then on to the next thing. And it just took so long. So my tomatoes are still sitting there in the polytunnel, not in the ground.
the 60 odd tomato plants.
Yeah, well, there are about 20 in the polytunnel waiting now. The rest are still behind me in the conservatory, waiting. I counted up my pumpkins the other day. They were suffering. They were starting to look a bit yellow. So then they're still, about that big. So I thought I'll pop them on. And I counted them. There were 42.
Pumpkin plants.
42 pumpkin
that would
plants.
just
I'm not
take-
even counting the courgettes and the patty pans. And
Yeah. Wow, that's
I
an
don't know where
impressive
they're going.
number.
That would fill my allotment. Just
Yeah, would mine. I don't know what I'm doing with them.
Are you,
I've got
Is
three
it-
on the ground already, and one of them is the Atlantic dill. That's meant to be one of those absolutely
Big, huge,
ginormous.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I really only need that. I don't know what the other 42 are for.
Oh my.
Mm.
Wow.
I have been too eager to sow.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now it's coming back.
It is.
Now it's coming back to haunt you. Yes.
For sure. So I'll be handing them off to people, I think, very soon.
Marcy, is anything struggling on your side over there?
Well, really, it's been cool, like Audrey said, for us too. And so I am happily putting out my peppers and tomatoes, but my tomatoes are huge, but the peppers are not. So it's like, the chilies are not. And I'm putting them out anyway because we're now going to be like, I think Celsius, it would be 26, 27 this week, all week. And
Right.
that's the warmest we've been, other than we had like a really hot spell this late winter, early spring, and then it's just been cool. So, but no, I got some of the tomatoes and peppers in, but just like she said, weeds first, and mulch really
And
fast.
then if you do the weeding to get ready, and then it rains for a couple days, you're back to weeding.
Again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've bought a whole bunch of straw, and straw will be going on every bed this year.
There you go.
Because I made the mistake, I guess hopefully we all make, which is last year I actually let some weeds go to seed, so they are having a good time.
Oh,
Pardon. So
when you see, Marcy, it's when you see like a dandelion full of seeds and you think, well, how do I get it? And you get it, and it poof, and it's like you just see this cloud going over your garden and think that'll bite us back.
I've
And
seen
a little
people
worried
on
about
Instagram
pests.
hoovering them up, hoovering heads of the dandelions.
That's a good.
It's a good idea.
Well, I have
That's
these
good.
cute little boys that live around me, and they just love to blow on those. And I get it. It's cute little boys. I can't tell them not to, but I'm like, I don't want those everywhere.
I heard a crazy statistic that they can blow like over 1,000 miles away from where they originated, so we can share them with each other.
Okay, so really, I'm sending them to you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
It's like
much better.
It's like a chickweed that kind of prevalent in my allotment. It just seems to blanket everywhere. But the heat is lovely because if you do get it, hoe it down and get it, nothing will grow because this heat is just not, it's unforgiving. But once it rains, because it's like a catch-22, you want the water. You know what I mean? You want to.
The tool you got, Tony, is it the one that looks almost like it's really sharp, the Japanese weeding
I
tool?
tell you what, I'll nip down.
Okay. I'm
Right?
curious.
You'll have to talk. Audrey, you're in charge, right?
Hey, All right.
A whole new show.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk about our top 10 things we just love to grow.
Okay.
Pumpkin.
Okay.
Pumpkins.
Really, pumpkin.
It better be, right?
No, seriously. What will you do with all those pumpkins?
Yeah.
So I've made arches, tunnel arches. So
Right.
whatever can grow up will grow up. That'll
Okay.
get rid of the Achikakuri and the
Mhm.
gaudy ones. And
Okay.
I've got Jack Be Little and Baby Boo, so they're
cool.
tiny. The other bigger ones, though, I just don't know. I kind of feel like by the time the fruits need the sun to ripen, the leaves are dying back, and then you're cutting those off. So maybe I just let them all swamp each other.
Mhm.
And
That's
then
still a lot of plants.
Survival of the fittest.
be gone. Yeah,
Right.
that's my theory. And I saw someone online say, well, they're called squash because you can squash them all together.
Okay.
So I'm going to take that advice.
Okay. But I'm really curious what you were thinking when you were sowing that many squash.
I tell you what I was thinking, Audrey. I was thinking last year I got no squash. I got like 3 out of all,
Okay.
and I sowed about 50 last year, and I
Okay.
got about 3 because of the slugs. Which is the other thing with this rain. The weeds are all coming, but also the slugs have made an appearance again. But it's nothing like last year. I mean, last year, every single thing I put out got eaten by slugs immediately. So this year is just wonderful. And
Okay,
like,
so
I
it's
don't
not
care.
crazy. It's not crazy that you started this many. You have
No.
great reasoning for that. Okay.
I think so too.
That just didn't sound convincing, Audrey, there when you said that.
Oh, but it was true. Like there was good reason for starting that many.
Mind, I haven't seen, if you're on about slugs and snails, hardly any. Do you
They're
mean
back,
nothing's-
though. They are back. I mean, what have I lost? Some cosmos. Oh, I put some gypsophilia around the roses, and I thought that was going to look really pretty. And
Gone.
slugs came along and took them.
Mm.
I got some spares. I'll try again now that once the rain has kind of, because we've got a week now of showers. So once that's over, I'll try it.
But then it comes in hot weather again, Kerry, mind you.
And then they just dry up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there a predator for slugs?
There's the other slug, isn't there? Because there's a slug that
Oh,
eats,
that one, the carnivore slug, or
Yeah.
whatever.
and people
Wow.
use nematodes.
I was going to say, is anyone I've used the nematodes and I think it worked, to be honest. So, Marcy, this is me tool.
Yes, I've been
Ah,
wanting one of those. Yeah. I'll watch and see how it works for you because I've been wanting one of those. So
Well, I think it would be great if, I'll wait and see, but if I was standing up, bending down, that's a better angle to
Yeah.
get it. But I want to kneel because I want to get in close. So we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? But it's the same company. There was loads of I got it off Amazon. There was loads of companies like Chinese names that you kind of pronounce kind of thing. But I use a mat in the allotment, and it was the same Bergen and Boyle.
Oh, yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
cool.
I got myself one of them.
Quite
to
a
get
fancy brand.
it. What was that, Kerry?
It's a bit of a fancy brand.
Oh yeah.
I've had some lovely gloves from them.
Yes, it is. Mhm. What else? What's Marcy? What's taking off? What's doing good over there?
All of our fruit. So we've got blackberries coming on like crazy, raspberries. We actually planted a cherry tree 2 years ago that's fruiting and ripe right now, which is crazy. The apple trees actually fruited this year, which and we don't have peaches. We might as well dig up the peach trees here. We get too many late frosts, and then the flowers all die. But yeah, the fruits, we have blueberries again, and I'm trying some new ones. They're annuals. They're and Audrey, you may have seen them on the Baker Creek, the huckleberry. It's
Oh,
an
I've seen the huckleberries. Yeah.
yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how they do. But they're just getting started. But the fruit this year has been great.
What's
So-
a huckleberry?
Well, it's not like there's also a huckleberry tree and things like that. This isn't actually a little annual plant. that right now is just a small bush. It's just about, a foot tall maybe. And it puts on these tiny little black berries that you can make jams and syrup, just different things with. But they're
And
very, very
moonshine.
smart. Oh, and
We make
moonshine. There you go.
moonshine with huckleberries.
Didn't know that.
Ooh.
I'll send you some, Audrey. So no, it was just interesting. You try those interesting things sometimes when you have a little extra space.
Now, are they more sour?
If you don't, it's kind of like some of the blackberries and stuff. If you don't pick them just right, they
Yeah.
can be a little bit
Yeah.
sour. Yeah, but I actually read it's kind of like a blackberry where you wait for that shine, that goes from shiny to kind of a matte, color. If you do that, supposedly they're excellent. So I'll let you know.
It's like you need to go pick them the day after the birds get them,
That's the truth. That's the
right?
truth.
Then you know they were perfect.
Yeah, that's the only thing on the cherries that's actually excellent this year is all of the cherries are up inside the canopy of the tree. So the only the little birds know they're in there, I guess. And so we're actually getting some cherries. So that was
And
exciting.
Marcy, what you're gonna do with the cherries?
I don't know. I mean, there's not enough to like make a pie or anything like that. So it'll probably just be fresh eating. They're the tart cherries.
So I like those. Those are the best, I think.
Yeah, it was a tree my mom always wanted to grow. So we planted it for her when she passed away. So yeah, it's kind of a tribute to her. So it's kind of neat that it's already fruiting just less than 2 years in. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the fruit, that's our win so far this year.
Audrey, what about you? Is anything taken off?
Well, the peas are doing very good, which is one of the things that actually is planted and growing.
That does help, right?
Trying to think if there's anything else back there.
It doesn't sound like you've got any.
The potatoes look like they're doing well. Oh, my lettuces and carrots. They're up and happy and doing their thing. Yeah. So yeah, not terribly exciting, Tony. I know, because your garden is like
finished. And
I'm like, how did this happen?
Because someone had a fancy holiday on the boat every night. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And your tomatoes are 5 feet tall.
They're looking all right, to be honest. I mean,
mine are tall. They're not anywhere close to where yours are.
I'm still a little bit nervous as if I get that fungal disease and if quads are any good for tomatoes. Do you know what I mean? They seem to be good for chilies, definitely. So we'll see. We'll wait and see.
Have any of you guys ever done like preventative for the tomatoes and the fungus and things that they get? Have you ever done like preventative spraying with the copper fungicide? I had read that on one, if you can believe what you hear on YouTube, right? But I heard it somewhere and I thought, that might make sense because it works on our fruit trees and it works on everything else really well to prevent any kind of fungus. So I might try that this year just to see if I can.
So what you're spraying on, Marcy?
It's a copper fungicide. It's just a copper that you dilute liquid. And just spray it with a sprayer on them. It's a preventative. It's not.
It's not a cure.
If you have a problem, it's not necessarily.
Right.
So I may try that this year. So.
Are you concerned about that happening again, Tony?
Oh yeah, because it's never happened. You see, Audrey, but then it happened the first time I used quads, and I'm thinking, was it the quads or was it just bad luck with the crappy weather last year? So
last year was.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't even count as a gardening year. It's like it was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just forget last year, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. But the one thing with the quads is though, it's a double-edged sword. It's lovely because you don't have to go up every day and water. But the bad thing is you don't have to go up every day and water, so you kind of forget. You know what I mean? So it's again, it's like it's a lovely blue cloudy sky there, but I bet it's cooking in the polytunnel. I should have been up, and open doors and let things breathe a little bit. So I think I probably need. See, that's another double-edged sword. I need to kind of open both doors now and just leave them constantly open. But then, if you're going to get blight, that's the way to do it. So.
Do you think that's why you're getting leaf curl on your tomatoes? Doesn't it seem like they're getting a little leaf curly?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
And I mean, I think I got that anyways, Audrey. Do you know what I mean? Because it just gets like
So
it
hot.
The
gets
heat,
hot in
isn't it?
there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you can't battle that.
mhm. I mean, I know there is some polytunnels where you can kind of wind up the sides. You know, they just sound like a dream. You know what I mean? You can just like proper big air vents.
Danny has one of those.
Right, right.
He's got like this pimped out polytunnel. It's so ridiculous. Irrigation, can pull the sides up, boop boop, got a remote control, and I'm like, what?
Well, I seen Danny one of his videos. I think he was like saying it's time to get everything out,
Yeah.
and the amount of produce he had just like put me into touch. You know what I mean? Like everything looked. I mean, hopefully he's getting it out. I don't know if he got it all out or not, but there was just different beans. There was this, and I was thinking, oh, it just seemed like everything had germinated. Do you know what I mean? And I was thinking, I wonder if that is like having like a fancy polytunnel. No, is that
It
me?
probably
Is that
doesn't
me?
hurt, that's for
Mhm,
sure.
mhm,
But his allotment is beautiful.
mhm.
It's
'Cause
very,
that's a new allotment as well.
yes.
Mhm.
But it's very creative. It's not just like beds. He's got a lot of trellises, but unique trellises, and he sets them up differently. It's beautiful.
Did you see? Have you seen Mark's got a new allotment?
I did.
Now I was watching just before we came on. There, I was watching Mark's little tour, and Mark kept on saying, "It's all right, you know. They're only top weeds. There's not much to do." And I'm thinking, "Oh, Mark, I think there's, you know what I mean?"
No, it looks pretty weedy.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And he
It
goes, well, there's
doesn't.
a path in there. And I'm like, is there? I don't know. You mean there was a path in
There
there?
was a path in there.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
chuffed a bit about
Yeah.
the grass paths, and I just can't seem to like. They just don't float my boat at all, to be honest. You know what I mean?
They are
Too
pretty,
much.
though.
Yes, pretty, but
Yeah.
if you
It's
miss
not-
it and they go to seed, there's a whole.
And they creep.
Yeah, we get
It's a difficult time of year to start a new allotment, though, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
right in the season now.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, he is Kerry. You know, he's got his whole allotment, his old one planted up and done, so he's almost like doing two. You know what I mean? So, but just I think he's doing, you know, like covering with weed membrane and forgetting about certain sections and that. But I was just like, oh, hard work ahead.
Yes. No, it did
He's
look like,
just
and
a
it's
young
big.
young
It
kid.
seemed
Yes.
really big to me.
I think that's one of the reasons why he is taking. You know, it's a bit bigger than his. So
Yeah.
Will
I
it
thought
keep-
that piece behind him was not his. And then he went there and showed it. And I thought, oh, that's huge.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
he needs some pumpkin plants.
send him some.
Oh.
Yeah. Will he
Well,
keep
it sure would cover up all those weeds.
They would.
Will he keep both plots, or will he?
no, eventually he's going to. Eventually, I think this year's the where he's going to have both, and then transition over to that bigger one. So, I mean, that was what Charlie Dowden said, wasn't it? If you've got like a bad plot, cover it with cardboard, then compost, and then go and see Kerry for some pumpkin plant. You know what I mean? Just like,
Round them out.
you know what I mean? Just got
Get it
enough
done.
there.
Yeah.
So,
That's funny.
Audrey, what have you not sown or not planted yet? Anything where you think, you know, I should have done that. I should have done this.
My onions are not happening this year.
Right?
Although,
Oh, that's because didn't they get delivered or something? And
yeah, but then I found them and I couldn't make a stink anymore because I found the dead box of onions. Okay, so no, please don't send me more. But sets. We never have those.
right.
I never. Well, we saw some. My neighbor was at one of our box stores. She goes, "Oh my gosh, they're on sale for $1 for like 100." And I said, "Oh my gosh, get me 7 bags, please." No, so I got 2 bags.
Right.
So I'm going to try those because I feel like it is so late for onions.
But I do that, mind you, Audrey. Just get them in, and even if you're just putting them in like dead tight lines, they'll just use them as spring onions. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just like,
That's what I thought. We'll just
yeah.
we'll just use them that way. So at least I'd have some. So no onions so far this year. I am not growing any. Oh, I can't say that. No, I am growing some squash. I was going to say I'm not growing any squash. Yes, I am. And those are going to go in this week after the tomatoes because I think those just need to start getting their roots going. Because once squash is in, it just flies.
I haven't got any squash. I've got a couple of courgettes in, but nothing.
Yeah, I'm talking more like winter squash stuff that
right.
I really, that's my favorite. It's the winter squash. Anything else? I did decide not to grow a whole lot of stuff this year. No eggplants.
All right.
Yeah,
See,
I mean they're beautiful plants.
They are.
It's just meh.
when you've got the farmer's market right on your doorstep, who needs it?
No
You know what I mean?
kidding.
You might as well pick up your jalapenos as well while you're there.
No, but I do have a lot of jalapenos going in today. A lot of jalapenos. Very excited about that.
Mind you, Audrey, mine have kept so well in the freezer. Do you know what I mean? I've got about still two bags, big bags like that, and I did nothing to them. I just put them in whole with the stalks, thinking, we'll see. And we take them out every so often. Do you know what I mean? Like slice them up, just go on top of pizzas or to do. I don't want to. I know that sounds weird. I don't want to waste them and make like one little jar of cowboy candy. I want to because it just that just gobbles up all your jalapenos. So,
well, that's probably a good way to use them here through the season, so you get a whole bunch of new ones, and then you can get a lot of that cowboy candy going.
Have you ever tried that, Kerry? Cowboy candy? Have you ever?
No.
Oh,
no, tell me more.
It's very good.
Well, it's. I'll say jalapenos, but how do you pronounce it properly, Audrey? Jalapenos. Jalapenos. So it's. I can't remember the recipe, but I know there's a fair bit of brown sugar goes in.
Yes. Yeah. And vinegar. So it's kind of that sweet and sour, and there's onions and. Yeah, because you make this really nice sweet sour brine, which is also good to can up and just keep because you can use that on all kinds of things over the winter.
So you chop up, Kerry, from what I remember, you chop up your jalapenos just like nice and fine, or you know what I mean, like say a few millimeters thick. It all goes in this pan with all this like liquid and sugar, and just boil it, boil it till it's like gone. You know what I mean? And then just jar it up.
So is it like a chutney consistency?
Well, no, because it still looked like sliced jalapenos.
Now I dice mine.
Oh,
because I don't like.
Not on your bloody recipe. You didn't say that. You told us to slice them on your bloody recipe you sent over. Took us nearly 15 hours to slice mine.
That's the classic way to do it.
She can't give all her secrets away.
I like it a little smaller dice,
right?
So that you just don't bite into like a jalapeno. You get all the little goodies at the same time.
A lot of people put it on like cream cheese on a cracker, and so the diced would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you dicing with a knife, or could you use like a processor, like a blitz, like a?
Yeah, I have a food processor that dices.
Right.
Has a dicing attachment, so I just set that up and let her go. Yeah. If not, yes, I would dice. With a knife. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try that this year then. I think I've got jalapenos. I think I've got those on the go.
Well, I'll get Audrey to send the recipe because it's. I mean, I just searched cowboy candy, but you know what I mean. But
yeah,
you got to do the queens.
This one, no, but
you got to do the masters. Do you know what I mean? And if it says slice, just dice them.
I remember now, dice. Yeah.
Well, it's called cowgirl candy when you dice it.
Oh,
There you go.
And then I thought, wait a minute, what? Women can't eat full slices of
No, it's far too hot for you. No,
Yeah,
no.
so I didn't like that name, and I thought, oh no, we're not calling it that.
Cowgirl candy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know who. Anyway, but it's very
Anne's
good.
asking Audrey, can you add it to the chat? It's 2 big bags to use of jalapenos. So where can we put if you at? I'll just
I can't
send it.
get to the chat.
It's actually in. I'm sure I've put it in Patreon. Is what you know what I mean? As a like the last year when you send it. So it's just, and if you just go through Patreon, it's. I'm sure it's there. Or if not, I'll put it in again.
I think it's on my website,
Yeah, probably.
and if it's not, I will look at that this afternoon.
There's only one thing, Kerry, with it.
Mm.
It goes so quick. Do you know what I mean? It like
That's okay. I've got so many chilies still from last year, but I dried my chilies last year. I did a
Right.
fermented sauce. I feel like there's some in the freezer from the year before. I've got a load of dried ones from last year, and now I think I've got 16 plants this year. So I need some stuff.
How
to use.
big is your allotment?
I know. It's just like
Not as big as it needs to be, really.
Yeah.
I have been extending my undercover growing space. So I'm
Okay.
trying to decide at the moment, because I know my tomatoes are going in the polytunnel, but I've also got for undercover loofahs, melons, sweet potatoes, chilies, peppers, aubergines. Anything else that would need to be undercover? But that's a lot, even though I've got 3 greenhouses and a polytunnel.
Oh, so you have a pretty big allotment.
And garden. So I spread between. And in fact, I weeded the front garden, which is a bit of a little food forest thing I've got going there. And there's gaps. So I'm like, I'm going to put some pumpkins in that front garden. Maybe a courgette. So, but yeah, I just need to spread things out and find places.
See, I've went the exact opposite. Do you know what I mean? I planted a couple of days ago just 4.
I
I
know.
thought I actually had 5, just 4 Savoy cabbages, and that's it.
Did
Do you
you
know what I mean?
hear
It's
me crying all the way from Detroit?
No, why?
Because you were not making good use of your dirt. I was like, oh, he could have jammed so much more in there. I know that's not your philosophy this year, but
See, I'm only going off. I can only go off last year, Audrey, but it worked last year. Do you know what I mean? Like I
know.
got such a good. You know what I mean? And
I know.
I even got a compliment off you. You know what I mean? So like,
I know,
so
but
we'll
it goes
see.
against my whole nature. So when I see that and all that empty soil,
I mean, I could tickle it up with, I've grown some, I've sown a whole load of other stuff there now. So, things come, I could tickle them inside, a bit more lettuce and stuff like that. But it's quite a strange thing. Kerry, you'll struggle with it then, to just plant 4 vegetables, in one bed.
I know.
It's such a strange, you know what I mean?
I put up that brassica cage and I thought, I'm going to do my spacing right. So I think I put 4 Brussels sprouts on one side. I think I put 6 cauliflowers on the other side. And then I'm sitting inside this cage looking at all the space around those brassicas. I couldn't do it. So I went and got my kales and I put those all in between. I got some kohlrabis. They went all in between. I just couldn't do it.
Well, because some of that stuff will grow up before the cabbage and the cauliflower need the space.
That's what I'm
So
thinking.
that's what I always look to is, can't you get something in and out of there quick? So, but yeah,
I mean,
so I just
obviously,
tear up a little, Tony, when I see you do that.
And
But I get it.
And that the Grow Veg software, the they tell you just like, it's surprising. That like made my eyes open when I did that, and I was thinking, some of my beds they were just recommending 2 and 3. You know what I mean? I was thinking, bloody hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But do you really want enormous cabbages? I mean, it's cool looking when you pull them out, but I would rather have a bunch of little ones. because then they're easier to have consumed. Now, those big old heads of cabbage.
Cabbages last a while in the fridge, you know what I mean? If you like chop it up, and we
Yeah.
at the moment we're going through like a lovely using as like salad mix, you know, like part of like a salad with
Sure.
I tell you what, mind you, you just jump in the gun there. My celeriac's looking all right at the moment.
I saw that yesterday as well. It looked very good.
I mean, we'll wait and see it across the line with them, but the greens look healthy.
Well, and that's the start to get a good root, right? You need something.
So we've been with the salad. My son's been doing like a few like grates of celeriac in this cabbage salad, and it comes out, and I forget, you know, some sort of salad cream and vinegar and all lovely. Got like a tang bite to
He's
it.
quite a cook, isn't he?
Oh man, unreal.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Andy works until he moves down London. He works in our village Mexican restaurant. So he's he comes back and he makes all these things he's making there for us as well.
Okay.
You know?
Oh, nice.
So yeah. And he's doing spatchcock chicken with some things tonight.
Fancy.
Nice.
I'm stuck here. Honestly, I'm just now a 5-meal wonder. That's it. I do baked potato, veggie burgers and salad. I do a spag bol. I do a curry, and I do something else. And I'm starting to run out of things. You know what I mean? That's me limit. You know what I mean? So if I can stretch it over 4 days, then we start again on the baked potato, veggie burger, and salad. So. Kerry, what's your best meal you can, you know, if we were all coming to dinner, if it was me, Audrey and Marcy coming to lunch, dinner, what would you put out for her?
My speciality, I haven't cooked it in ages actually, is tagine. It's a vegetarian tagine with aubergines and courgettes, sweet potato, chickpeas. But I use loads of spices, like way more spices than you would think, like tablespoons of cumin and cinnamon and whatever. And it makes it so rich, and it's really, really good. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't made it in ages. I'm hoping for a good glut of courgettes and aubergines this year so I can make it. But one of the things I kept cooking last year, because I did have a good year for courgettes last year, I had the Zephyr variety with the green end. So it's a yellow.
Oh, yes.
Got the little green end. And they were produced brilliantly. And so I was doing this dish where I would just slice them all up into a pan, fresh tomatoes and onion. So reduce that down a little bit, then put all the aubergines in. And then I'd make like a vegan cashew cheese for the top and put it under the grill. Oh, just so good with some sourdough. So good. Plenty of garlic.
Yes. I think my garlic's going to be horrific this year.
Really?
Honestly, I've pulled like a couple of bulbs. I'm thinking you've got 2 weeks left to get from like a marble size to an orange size, and it ain't going to happen.
Mine are looking good, but now I'm afraid of the allium leaf miner because the garlic is right next to the onions, and I found it in a few of the onions. And I'm ready for my garlic now.
See, I've tried everything. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I've even this year or last year I planted them. You know, it was like nice compost and bagged farm manure. It was as rich as lovely, to be honest. But
and you've done them in the buckets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've seen like other YouTubers do them. And like pulling out these like big orange size, like grapefruit size, bloody. And to be honest, we've just been to Costco. That's where my wife's been just now. And they sell them bags of peeled garlic.
Yeah.
Like 6, I don't know how many's in a bag. You know what I mean? The bag's about that big. Yep. I'm just thinking that's the way. It's like going down that farmer's market way.
I really love growing garlic.
I would love it if it would grow.
Especially, I really love the elephant garlic.
Yes.
I've got some in my home garden, and I've never had allium leaf miner in the home garden, so I'm hopeful that they'll be fine. But it's good to know now, because this is a new plot for me. So now I know that I'm going to have to net my alliums there. I'm saying this having just put out all my leeks And my onions from seed I still hadn't put out, so I've put those out now. I've got Welsh perennial onion I've just put out. But now's okay, isn't it? We're okay for allium leaf miner. They've done the damage and stuff that's going out now should be fine until like October. Is that right?
Kerry, it's
Would you
something
not risk it?
I don't get. So I get
Yeah.
the onion white rot if I'm going to
Yeah.
get anything. So, but I'm hoping I've missed that because I've planted early Japanese onions. So I'm hoping I've missed that because they're due soon, but they're still teeny weeny, as I'll be honest, or a little bit bigger than a golf ball. But we'll see. We'll see.
Has anybody been cropping stuff yet? Strawberries?
Nothing.
Oh, my strawberries.
Asparagus,
Yeah.
asparagus, and lettuce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lettuce
Yeah.
has done well for me this year. I've got broad beans coming. That's another thing that I've still got in the freezer from like last year, maybe the year before. And yeah, now I've got fresh ones, so I'm just eating those.
I've got this feeling. Audrey, Kerry, Marcy, let us know. I sowed my whole crops of beans, different kinds, all climbing beans, dwarf beans, on the 25th of May.
Mhm.
Still nothing in a lovely warm greenhouse. Should I have? And I tell you why because I did 2 lots of sowings. I've sown other things, chard and spring onions and things like that in clover. The beans were done again in that, that Merle Court silver grow from a different garden centre. And I've just got this feeling, not again. So would you expect to see a bean, Audrey, but what's it now? It's the 2nd of June.
Oh yeah. I always feel like beans, you can always almost see them starting to come out right after you plant them. I mean, that's not true, but give them a few days and those babies are
That's
moving out. They're pretty quick, I think.
I think my dwarf one, because I only did some dwarf ones recently, but I think they took a little bit longer than a week to appear. Once they get above the soil, they just go, don't they? But
Yeah.
it can take a little
I've
bit.
never grown broad beans, so I don't
No.
know how those are
These
different.
were dwarf ones, but
Well, I've still got some seeds.
Do you have any of those Kalimas left?
No, I picked them up, Audrey, to be honest. That was my fault, to be honest. They dried out and that's why they're in the greenhouse now and I've been kind of monitoring these ones. So I didn't,
Yeah.
but everything else is now starting to come. Do you know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking they should at least like 1 or 2, there's like
Oh,
4
yeah.
trays. There's 4 trays. So there's probably over 150 of certain types of bean, like
Wow.
like little things, and not one's come up yet.
You could go in there and just on one of the cells and dig one up and see if it's rotted or if it's just sitting there.
if it's different varieties as well, you can't blame the seed, can you? Because
there's 4 different varieties, Kerry. Do you know what I mean? But
I think Silver Grow is going to get the blame for this one.
I took everything that I was growing in Silver Grow out of it.
Wow.
It just stopped growing, and I was so disappointed because I feel like pretty much all my crops have been stunted by using Silver Grow this year. Wasn't like that last year, but this year, no, I'm really disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Will I get a bean if I re-sow now?
Yeah.
Yeah, loads of time for beans.
I love it.
I haven't even
I'm the northeast of England, man. Do you know what I mean? I have like a fortnight of summer.
Just direct sow them. I direct sowed Greek gigantes on Saturday.
All right, so you've
Put them
put
in
some
the ground, yeah.
That's going to have to be it then, because when you get this feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it might kind of pump up there.
You can still get beans. Come on.
No, I'm saying I've just got this feeling about the ones that I've sown. It's what you said, Audrey. They should have been showing the heads at least.
Yeah, particularly since they're not all the same kind.
Mm-hmm.
If you have different varieties in there, I'd be like, somebody would have stuck their head up by now.
We'll find out next week.
We will.
Well, it'd be
we
funny
will.
if tomorrow they all go boop.
Yeah.
I've used all my bloody good trays up though, all my trays. Listen, I'm aware of the time because I know Kerry's got to go and get all her teeth pulled out today for her dentures. So, Kerry, where can we find you?
You can find me at YouTube at Dog on the Plot, and I'm also on Instagram, Dog on the Plot.
There we go. Marcy?
Instagram Grow Well Together, and there's actually a YouTube channel, but I still have not.
Still haven't got it.
I've done that. Like I've taken all the footage. I actually just need to sit down, and it'll have a lot of weeds in it. Because
Get it on.
Footage.
Get it on, and just record another one straight away. And the queen of the potty mouth. Where can we find you, madam?
Somehow we have to get you to stop calling me that. Okay. Because I
The
don't
Queen
want to
of
wave
Cerise.
like this, and I don't want to be related to Charles. No offense. Okay. Your real food comes dirty. YouTube, Instagram.com.
There we go. Ladies, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much. We will hopefully do this next week as well. I will be in touch. Look after yourselves, everyone. Thank you for turning up. Take care.
Have a great week.
Bye.